Check. Okay, so do you agree recording this class, Gerardo?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, so we are
Sure.
recording this class for Luis Felipe. And let's go and share the book here. We have this page. What date is today? Tell me, what date is today? The date. What is the date today?
July 12th.
July 12th, right. We were here and we had already listened to these different, you listen to these different jobs, occupations. Did you listen to them? No? Yes?
No.
No. Okay. Now let's check all of these occupations. Word power, jobs, okay? Jobs. Let's listen to the occupations. And while you listen, you repeat the occupations, okay? So match, then you're going to match. You're going to match the pictures and with the numbers here, right? The picture with the number according to the letters. For example, letter J would be a taxi driver or a police officer. Who is it? Letter J is a police officer. You see? Police officer, number one, letter J. What is number two? Tell me, what is number two's occupation?
Taxi driver.
What is his occupation?
Okay, yeah.
What is his occupation? It's here in.
Oh, taxi driver. Oh.
Taxi driver. So you repeat, taxi driver. Let's repeat all of them. And then you check it out. But let's place it this way so that you can observe all the occupation from here, if it is possible. And we practice all of them. Can you see it clearly? It's difficult, but can you see it clearly? Yeah. It's they are very small letters, but this is the way you're gonna do it. Because here you are. Okay, you got it. Okay, so let's continue with this. Pay attention to this, okay? And listen and repeat, please. And check it out. What is number two? Which letter is number three? Which letter is number four? And you continue that way, okay? Pay attention.
Unit 8. Where do you work? Page 50. Exercise 1. Word power.
Okay. Can you listen?
Yes, yes.
Yes? No problem?
Sí, sí. No, no.
Okay, let's continue.
Jobs. Part A. Match the jobs with the pictures. Then listen and practice. 1.
J. Police officer.
Police officer.
2.
Police officer.
O. Taxi driver.
Taxi driver.
That's
3.
P. Vendor.
Vendor.
4.
vendor.
G. Host.
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 5.
Host.
N. Server.
Server. You see the server.
6. D. Chef.
Chef. The chef is
7.
over here.
K. Receptionist.
Receptionist.
8.
A. Accountant.
Accountant.
9.
I. Office manager.
Office manager.
10. F. Front desk clerk.
Front desk clerk.
11. B. Bellhop.
Bellhop is 11, right
12.
here.
H. Nurse.
Nurse. Where is the nurse?
13.
Right here.
E. Doctor.
Doctor. So you have
14.
the nurse and the doctor.
L. Salesperson.
Salesperson.
15.
C. Cashier.
Cashier. Here you have
16. M. Security guard.
Security guard. Okay, where is letter number 16? Security
M.
guard, letter M. Okay, you see? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, yes.
I guess you cannot hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I am.
Okay. Did you? No, yes, I can. Yes, I
Yes, I
can.
can.
Can you hear me? Is yes, I can. Okay. If it is a positive answer. Okay. So you're going to repeat all of them. Repeat all of them with the letters, the same as you had listened. Okay. From letter J, which is a police officer, right? You continue. Number 2. What is number 2? What is number 2's
O,
occupation?
taxi driver. O, taxi driver.
Taxi driver. Continue. O, taxi driver. So you check it out here. O, taxi
Taxi driver.
driver. Okay, continue with the next one. Number 3.
Letra P, vendor.
Vendor. Letter P, vendor. Letter P, vendor. Number 4.
Letra G, host.
Host. Repeat G. Letter G, host. Repeat it.
Letra G,
Please.
host.
Letter,
Host.
not letra. Letter.
Letter
G,
G,
host.
host.
Okay. Host. You understand what a host is, right? Do you
Yes.
understand that? Okay.
Yes,
A person who invites you. If you want, do you want to have a coffee? For example, I imagine that this woman here is saying to the other woman, do you want to have a coffee with me? Okay. Observe that she's
Yes.
inviting her. Okay. She's the host. Number 4. Okay. Continue with the next one, which was number 5.
I is letter N, server.
Letter N, server. So number 5 is the server. Letter N is the server. Okay, continue number 6.
Letter D, chef.
Okay, letter B. No, letter B, no. Letter B is
D,
bellboy. Huh?
D,
Oh,
D, chef.
D, chef. Okay, so this is D, chef. Okay, D, chef. Okay, chef. Okay, let's continue with number 7, who is here?
7 is receptionist.
Receptionist.
K.
Letter K, receptionist. You see, receptionist is here. Okay, what do you say for number 9?
No, 8 from the A.
Oh, sorry, number 8. Number 8 is this one here.
Is accounting.
An accountant. An accountant. Okay, she is an accountant. Observe that when you mention a word with a vowel here, you have to pronounce an accountant. The same that you say an apple, an orange, an eraser, you know, an English teacher, you see? A teacher, yeah. A teacher, an English teacher, an accountant. So you see, accountant is letter A, and the accountant is here. Okay, number 9. What is number 9?
Nice is office manager.
Letter? What
I.
letter is it? Letter
A.
I. No. A,
I.
It's I. Remember, I, like me, I. I. Letter I is an office manager. She is an office manager. Okay? Now, continue.
Hello.
What is next?
Yeah. And number 10 is ya le digo sobre front desk. Front desk.
Okay, that's a front desk clerk. Repeat, clerk. Front desk clerk. Okay. Front desk clerk. It's a clerk, a person who works in the front desk. It's like a receptionist. It's like a receptionist. It's a front desk clerk. Okay. This would be number 7, who is a receptionist, letter K. There are similar words. Okay, you see? The receptionist and the front desk clerk. Well, I would say that they are similar. Here in Venezuela, if you say a front desk clerk or a
Desk clerk.
receptionist. Okay,
Receptionist. Yeah.
they could have a similar job, okay?
Okay.
Now continue with number 11.
11 is letter
You're
is
frozen.
letter B.
Letter B, bellhop. A bellhop
Bellhop.
is a person who carries the briefcases or suitcases when you get to the hotel. Okay,
Okay.
it's a bellhop. Bellhop. Okay, what about number 12? Number 12.
That is letter H, nurse.
Okay, letter H, nurse. The nurse is letter H, is the nurse. Okay, so let me click in here. It's a nurse, letter H. What about number 13?
Letter E, doctor.
Letter E, doctor. Okay, so this is the doctor. This is the doctor. It goes here. And number 14, who is it? Who is he? Or who is
Letter
she?
L, salesperson.
A salesperson could be a saleswoman or a salesman, okay? A salesperson could be a salesman or a saleswoman, depending if it is a man or a woman, salesperson, okay? What about number 15?
15 is no. Cashier.
Cashier. So letter C. The cashier is letter C, huh? Is number 15, cashier. Okay, the person who receives the money from the purchase, okay, the purchase, and gives the change, of course, and gives you the ticket, okay, for sales. Okay, number 16, what is it? Who is it?
Letter M, security guard.
Guard. Repeat, guard.
Guard.
Guard. Security guard.
Security guard.
Guard. Okay, so this is letter, the last one, letter M here. Okay, security guard. So we have already answered all of them. Okay, now you're gonna do, let me check it out. Let me close all of these windows so that we go to the next exercise you have here. Okay, observe. Here you have an exercise which is asking a question, what does she do or what does he do? Okay, what does he do? It's like saying, what is his or her occupation? What is her or his occupation? You can say, what does he do or what does she do? Okay, now let's repeat again, but without looking at you're not gonna look at this, at the box, which is right here, okay? Don't look at the box. I ask you the question, you answer, okay? And then you ask me the question and I answer. For example, what does she do in this case? What does she do?
She is a police officer.
Police officer. She's a police officer. Okay? You have to use the article. Repeat it. She's a police officer. She's a police officer. She's a police officer. She's a police officer.
She is a police officer.
Okay. Now, ask me the next question, number 2. Ask me the question.
What? ¿Cómo es la pregunta?
What does he do? Because in this case, it's a man. You say it's a man.
What does he do?
He is a taxi driver. He is a taxi driver. He's a taxi driver. Okay, now I ask you the next question. What does he do? What does he do?
He is a vendor.
A vendor. Okay, now ask me the next question.
What does she do?
She is the hostess. She is the host, huh? You know,
Host.
she's the host. By the way, some people don't say host, but they say hostess. What is the difference? The hostess. Let me check it out. I'm gonna stop sharing this, and I'm going
Okay.
to, because I have a doubt. I have a doubt, okay? Now let me clear up my doubt, okay? I'm gonna share another, let me share another window here, which is this one. Yeah, this one. Let me check it. Because no, this is not the one. This one here, translate. Can you see the Google Translate?
Uh-huh.
Now, I don't know if you're able to listen to this. Okay, let me check it out. Host. You see?
Anfitrión.
But it could be anfitriona. I have seen the same word, including ESS. I don't know, but in England, they call it hostess.
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 But you cannot, if you don't want to do it, you can omit this. You omit this and you say host, which means for a man or for a woman, it's the same.
Okay.
You say,
Host.
but
Anfitrión.
or anfitriona.
Anfitriona.
Okay, so you can have female or male. ¿Me escuchaste lo que estoy diciendo,
Yes,
Gerardo?
yes.
See? Okay,
Sí.
so because I cannot listen to you. I don't know, when I place this, it doesn't work. Let me stop
Okay.
sharing this. Let me stop sharing this. And let's go back again to this. Okay. Me detuve porque tenía mi duda. ¿Me está
Ya.
escuchando, Gerardo?
Sí, sí.
¿Puede escucharme? Creo que está
Sí, sí,
fallando
sí, yo lo escucho.
mi internet.
Perfecto, lo escucho perfecto. No, no, está
Ok,
bien,
perfecto.
está a tiempo y todo.
Ok, yo tengo en
Ah.
duda, porque yo me recuerdo cuando yo estaba estudiando, decía, el profesor decía hostess, ¿no? Es cuando se refería a una mujer, la anfitriona. ¿Qué hace ella? Bueno, ella es la anfitriona ahí de la reunión, ¿ya? En este caso no es una ocupación, sino simplemente que está desempeñando el rol de
No,
anfitriona.
yo le iba a decir, pues, yo tengo un amigo, tiene un restaurante y él hace de host, ¿no?
Eso
Y yo le
es,
dije,
sí, correcto.
pero yo le pregunté que si él era hostess, o sea, con doble S. Y él corrige, me dice que no, que es host. Entonces ya sé por qué era.
Pero fíjate bien, eso los americanos, te lo voy a decir así clarito porque yo me di cuenta de eso cuando yo estaba estudiando en la universidad, que quizás hubo un británico que me dijo hostess, y es porque ellos suelen utilizar los británicos más el término para femenino, hostess, con ESS. Sin embargo, el norteamericano tiende como a utilizarlo indistintamente, sea varón o sea hembra, host, ¿eh? Tanto para anfitrión como para anfitriona. Entonces uno tiene esa confusión, ¿ya ves? Es como que lo mismo no ocurre con waiter, por ejemplo. Si yo te digo algo más, con, por ejemplo, esto, ¿ok? If I tell you waiter, you know what a waiter is, right? Waiter or waitress. Waitress. This one here is for the man. This is for the man. And the other one down there is for the woman, okay? Waiter and waitress, they are different. But I consider that they don't say waiter when they refer to a woman, okay? They say waitress, either Americans or British. Yo no sé qué confusión tienen que lo hacen confundir a uno de verdad. Esto es
Claro.
entre la ESS, ¿ya? Que se cumple ese sufijo ESS para muchas ocupaciones y para muchas palabras en inglés que quieren diferenciarse entre masculino y femenino. Por ejemplo,
Okay.
te voy a decir otro más. I'm gonna tell you another one, which is steward. You know what is stewardess? Steward. Steward.
Ujú.
Así. Steward. No estoy muy seguro en cuanto a la escritura. Stewardess. Steward. Steward. Is it the stewardess? I'm not sure. Voy a tener que buscarlo otra vez. A ver, ¿sabes qué es eso?
Sí,
Do
los
you know what it
lavaplatos.
is? No. Ese es el bueno,
No,
los
ese es
pueden emplear.
no, no. Ellos son los que, asisten a los meseros. Lo
Ajá,
que,
pero ¿en dónde? Genéricamente, ¿sabes dónde? En los aviones, los llaman más que todo. Como decir en la aeromoza o el sobrecargo, que se encargan de servirle. ¿Ya ves? De todas maneras, vamos a buscarlo para aclarar cualquier duda, ¿eh? Vamos a detener, no sé si yo paré de... Yo compartí el anterior, a ver, ¿no? Detuve el anterior, compartir.
ahí está.
Vamos a detenerlo y vamos a irme a compartir este otro. A ver, ¿qué es lo que es? Porque en realidad me tiene como que confundido. Stewardess. 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 Okay, this is a translation for stewardess. ¿Sí?
Stewardess.
Stewardess. ¿Sí? ¿Ven que aparece? ¿Estás viéndolo allí? ¿Qué
Ya,
aparece como traducción?
Azafata.
Es la asistente de vuelo. Si le quitamos la ESS que tenemos acá, me queda steward.
sí, es que hay una diferencia porque es
Es el
steward,
mayordomo, el encargado de, más que
Ajá.
todo en los aviones, cuando es un varón. ¿Okay?
Ya,
Igualmente en los restaurantes ocurre que se les llama así steward o stewardess. ¿Ok? Bueno, el que ayuda en la labor esa difícil en la cocina, ¿ok? Que es de llenar platos y qué sé yo, y servirlo, y ya se lo encarga al waiter o waiters.
claro.
Ellos tienen una diferenciación allí como que medio rara para nosotros. Steward es el encargado de esa labor, ¿ok?
Ya.
En el avión más que todo. También se le llama flight attendant si se refiere al asistente de vuelo.
Qué bueno.
Flight attendant. Y lo voy a decir ahorita, ¿eh? Flight attendant. ¿Eh?
Auxiliar de vuelo.
¿Eh? Okay, the flight attendant. Let me stop here. Let me stop here. Stop this. And let me share again this. Porque nos estamos engalletando todo con este stewardess. Que a propósito creo que lo escribí mal aquí porque le escribí una T. ¿Te diste cuenta?
Sí,
Ok, steward o stewardess. Ok. Pero para que vayas aprendiendo algo más, que ese waitress o hostess tiene sus contradicciones, ¿no? Es algo un
sí.
poquito difícil de entender. ¿Por qué lo usan y por qué no lo usan otros? Mire, esto es así, el inglés es así. Tiene que, hay que hacerlo, más nada. Okay, so here you are. What does he do? What is the answer for you? What does he do?
Is, bueno, ya dice service, ¿no?
Huh?
Server.
The server or the waiter. You can say the
Waiter.
waiter or server, pero ocurre algo así como lo que ocurre aquí en México, que nosotros llamamos mesonero allá en Venezuela. Ellos no le llaman
Sí,
mesonero, sino mesero.
mesero.
¿Ya? Entonces, waiter or server. You can say server or waiter.
Server.
Si lo dices de una forma u de otra, te lo van a entender igualito que como tú entiendes lo de mesero y mesonero, ¿sí o no? Pero ellos ven muy raro que uno diga mesero o mesonero, ¿no? ¿Entienden
No,
la idea?
sí, y en Venezuela es raro decir mesera.
Sí, es raro, muy raro. Entonces dice mesonera. Entonces,
Ah.
server o waiter, ¿ok? What about the other, number 6? Ask me the question. What is the question for number 6?
What does he do?
What do those men do? Porque fíjate que aquí hay dos. What do those men do? This is plural, plural. What do they do? They are chefs. Chef. And you have to add a final S here, okay? But he is a chef. They are chefs. Chef. It's very difficult to pronounce this word at the beginning, chef, because you pronounce the final F, chef, and then the final S, okay? So,
¿Cómo se escribe la pregunta, profe? Un momentico, porque no me...
what does he do or what does she do? Here you are. What does he do or what does she do? Observe. What, it depends. Huh? It depends. What does she do or what does he do? Yo no sé cómo hacerlo aquí. Vamos a ver si puedo. Okay. Let me check. Okay. So if you say, what does he do? Or you can also say, what does she do? What does she do? Okay. If you refer to singular, but imagine that you refer to plural. You say, what do they do? If you are talking about plural form, observe that you use do. Okay, what do they do? And the answer for this one would be they. You see, they are chefs. Observe in this situation, you're talking about a chefs, right?
Okay.
Because this is plural, chefs. Let me check it out. Let me check it out. Observe. Let me check share so that you get clear about this. They are chefs. I made a
Su
mistake.
cheque.
They are chefs. No,
Su pecho.
chef.
They're chefs.
They are chefs. You see, chefs.
Chef.
Are you paying attention to this?
They're chefs.
They are chefs. They are chefs. At the beginning, it's a little bit difficult to pronounce this, but let me check it out. They are chefs.
Su pecho.
No. Hay problemas aquí con el chef. Okay? They are chefs. Okay. And this is not this way, is there, the final, this, their chefs. Okay? Plural or singular, you say, okay, you add a final S. If you add only one S, you're not saying that correctly. The correct form would be with a final S. But if it is only one F or two F's, I really don't know. Let me check it out, okay? Let me check it out.
Okay.
Okay, so here we are. They are chefs. Let me share this screen again. Observe that you use do or does according to the singular or plural form, okay? They are chefs, okay? So let's continue with the next one. The next one, what is it? What is the question? Ask me the question. What is the question for the next one right here? What does he do?
What does he do?
Okay, he's a front desk clerk or he's a receptionist. I don't know, a front desk clerk or a receptionist. Well, it could be, he could be a receptionist or a front desk clerk, depending if it is the entrance of the company. At the entrance of the company, you can find a front desk clerk or a receptionist, okay? Now, the other one, what does she do?
She is accountant.
An accountant.
An accountant.
Okay, what does she do?
She is an office manager.
Office manager. Okay, ask me the other question. What is the question?
What does he do?
Repeat it after me, please. Does. What does? Does. Not does. Does. What does? Relax. What does he do?
Does he do? What does
He's a
he do?
Okay, he's the receptionist. He's a receptionist. Okay. Now, what does he do? What is the answer?
Ay, eso sí está difícil. Tengo que leerlo.
Okay.
Eso tengo que leerlo, a veces no me lo sé.
Bellhop. Bellhop.
Bellhop. Bellhop.
Some people don't say bellhop, but some people say bellboy. 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 Bellboy or bellhop. Okay. The one who carries the suitcases at the hotel. Okay. What does he do?
He is a nurse.
A nurse. Ask me the question about the next one. What is it?
What does she do?
She is the doctor. She is the doctor. Okay. What does she do?
She is a serviceman.
No, she's a salesperson. A salesperson. A salesperson or a saleswoman.
Salesperson, cierto, cierto.
Salesperson or
Salesman.
saleswoman. If it is a man, you say he is the salesperson or he is the salesman. Okay, depending on if it is of male or male, you say salesperson for both. For a man or for a woman, salesperson. But you can say salesman or saleswoman, salesperson. Okay. Now, what does she do?
She is ay, no recuerdo.
Cashier, cashier, cashier,
A ver cómo se
cashier,
escribe. Cashier.
cashier. Okay, cashier. Cashier would be like this one. Cashier, letter C.
Cashier. Okay.
Cashier.
Yes.
Cashier, the person who receives the money, right? Right here. She's the one who cashes you who receives the money, right? For the sales, for the sales. And what is the last question for me?
What does he do?
He is the security guard. Security guard. Let me turn it off because I am tired and my ears are becoming hot. Hot. I know that I can listen to you clearly with that, but it is too hot. You understand? Can you listen to me?
Yes, yes.
But I cannot listen to you. I have to check it out because I have problems with my.
Desconecte los audífonos.
I don't know. Okay, the same system. Let me check it out again. Can you listen to me?
Yes.
Okay, clearly, no problem.
No problem.
Okay, so I have to take it same system, a microphone array. What about this? If I check it out here. To me right now, can you listen to me right now?
Yes.
Clear?
Yes, clear.
Clear, no problem. Okay, so we have already finished this page. What page is it? 50. Let's continue with 51. 51. We are going to continue talking about occupations, okay, or professional careers, or what you do. What do you do? What do they do? For example, in this case, workplaces. Workplaces. You know what the workplaces are?
Yes.
Okay, observe this. Who works in these places? Complete the chart with jobs from exercise 1. Add one more job to each list. Observe, a doctor works in a hospital. A doctor works in a hospital. Okay, so you can say a nurse works in a hospital. Tell me another occupation of another person who can work in a hospital, a different occupation.
maybe receptionist,
A receptionist works in a hospital. Tell me another. Another.
security guard,
A security guard works in a hospital. Another one. The person who is in the front desk. In the front desk at the entrance of a hospital. Who is it?
yeah,
It's a receptionist. A receptionist or a secretary or an accountant. All of them can work in a hospital, right?
yeah.
Teachers don't really work in the hospital. You know, I have nothing to do in a hospital, but I could go to a hospital, right? Now, in an office, tell me, who work in an office?
In an office is work, office manager.
An office manager works in an office. Repeat the whole thing. An office manager works in a hospital, in an office. An office manager works in an office. An office, not a hospital, but an office. Okay. So who else works in a hospital apart from a manager? Apart from an office manager.
An accounting.
An accountant works in an office too. An accountant works in an office too. An accountant works in an office too. Okay, tell me another person who can work in an office.
Maybe vendor.
A vendor could work in an office, okay? A vendor works in an office too, okay? So an accountant, a manager, a secretary works in an office, right? A vendor, a salesman could work in an office. A salesperson works in an office, okay? Now, tell me about this in a store.
In a store, salesperson.
A salesperson, remember the use of the article. A salesperson works in a store. Tell me another one. It's very important.
Person, security guard.
A security guard works in a store. Another one.
Cashier.
A cashier works in a store. A cashier works in a store. Is there anybody else who can work in a store? A vendor, a cashier, or a salesperson, and a cashier works. A salesperson, a cashier, a vendor, they work in a store. Okay, tell me somebody else apart from the security guard.
Maybe office manager.
An office manager could work in a store, right? An office manager works in a store too, okay? Now, because there could be an office which is about an accountant could work in a store too, right? An accountant works in a store. An office manager works in a store. A vendor works in a store. A security guard works in a store too, okay? You add two at the end, okay, of the sentence if you have already repeated one. Now, what do you say about a hotel? A hotel.
A receptionist or front desk
clerk.
Front desk clerk.
Front desk clerk or a receptionist work in a hotel. Okay, tell me another one.
Bellboy.
A bellboy or a bellhop. A bellhop works in a hotel. Tell me another one.
Maybe a host.
Maybe a host. Host works in a hotel. Another one.
Mm, A chef.
A chef works in a good hotel with a restaurant because every hotel has at least one restaurant, right? So a chef and another person who can work in a hotel. Tell me, who is it?
Wait.
A waiter,
Waiter.
or a server. A server works in a hotel. Okay, so a bellboy, a receptionist, an accountant can work in a hotel too, right? An accountant could work in a hotel too. So you have different activities in the same places or in different places. Okay, now let's continue with the class activity here. Ask and answer who questions, who questions about jobs. Use these words. For example, who wears a uniform? Who wears a uniform? And you say, well, a police officer wears a uniform. A security guard wears a uniform too. Okay, I'm gonna ask you another question. Who talks to people? Who talks to people on the phone, or who talks to people in the front desk? Who talks to people?
Who worked hard.
Who works hard? Professor Parra works hard. A teacher works hard. You
Yes.
understand? Okay.
Yes.
Now, tell me another one.
Who works at night?
Who works at night? Well, a nurse works at night. A police officer works at night too. Okay. Now, who makes a lot of money? Who makes a lot of money?
A taxi driver.
A taxi driver makes a lot of money. Who stands all day? Who stands all day?
A host.
A host stands all day. Who sits all day? Who sits all day?
A teacher.
A teacher sits all day. You know that I don't like to be sitting. I prefer to be standing. But the problem is that the real school does not exist anymore, and I have to be sitting all the time. I don't
Yes.
like this kind of work. I don't like my job, but I have to do it. You understand what I
Yes.
mean? De
Yes,
verdad que
yes, yes.
no me gusta estar sentado.
Está sentado, claro.
¿Cómo voy a estar parado con una
Siempre está de pie al lado de un pizarrón.
No puedo. Yo prefiero estar de pie frente a un pizarrón, de verdad. I prefer to be standing in front of a board instead of be sitting in front of a computer.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's awful. I don't like it. Who works with a team? Who works with a team?
Pronto, porque ya van a abrir las clases presenciales.
Dios te oiga para trabajar en las mañanas, aunque sea por la escuela presencial, y después de mediodía trabajar contigo y otros más, ¿sí?
Claro, claro.
Pero ahorita la gente está pero muy restringida, ¿vale?
Sí.
Oye, está quedada en la casa, amarrada. Estamos amarrados. Ok,
Sí.
¿qué nos queda? Ok.
Who works with a team?
Who works with the team? Let's say, okay, most of security guards work in a team because there is not only one security guard. There is one at the entrance of a building, but there is another at the back of a building, and there is another on the right, another on the left. So you have at least 4 security guards in a company, at least 4 security guards in a store or in a bank. You need to have 4 security guards at least, okay? So they have to work in teams, okay? The same as, let's say, police officers, fire workers. You know what a fire worker is, a fireman?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes. Sí, bomberos.
Okay, so nurses and doctors have to have teamwork. You know what teamwork is? They work all together.
Equipo de
All
trabajo.
together. Okay. Sometimes you have to wash something. Sometimes you have to dry something. Sometimes you have to take something and move it to another place. Sometimes you take the patient with your arms you know? So you have many activities, and the activities have to be switched from one to another. If a person tries to do all the activities at the same time, it's impossible. You understand? So this is why teamwork is necessary, okay? For people who have certain activities which are a mixed of activities, okay?
Okay.
Mixture of activities. Okay, now in conversation, what does he do? Okay, pay attention to this. There is a joke here. And I want you to translate into Spanish the whole conversation when you finish, because there is a joke. You know what a joke is? What is a joke? Something funny that makes you laugh. What is it? There is.
Cansado, aburrido.
No. Pay attention. He is okay. He is like this. But there is a joke. By the end of this line, there is a joke. Something that is not going to make you laugh. Okay? Pay attention, because you're going to tell me the translation into Spanish. Okay? So please, pay attention to this.
Page 51. Exercise 3. Conversation. What does he do? Listen and practice.
Where does your brother work? In a hotel. Oh, really? My brother works in a hotel too. He's an accountant. How does he like it? He hates it. He doesn't like the manager. That's too bad. What hotel does he work for? The Plaza. That's funny. My brother works there too. Oh, that's interesting. What does he do? Actually, he's the manager.
Okay, tell me, what is the joke? You didn't understand?
Yes, he is accountant.
It's an accountant. And what is the problem?
The problem is con el jefe.
Okay, his manager. What is his manager is not good for him, but he is talking to Alicia. Alicia is his boss manager. You understand?
Yes,
Alicia is his boss manager's sister.
Jordan.
Sister. Is it? Ah, it's Jordan. Jordan is
his brother.
It's Alicia.
Jordan's brother.
Okay, Alicia is his manager's sister. Alicia is his manager's sister. Observe that she has a sister, no? Does he have a sister? Okay, observe. Listen to the conversation again. Pay attention. Listen to it again. Let me check it out. Right here.
Page 51. Exercise 3. Conversation. What does he do? Listen and practice.
Where does your brother work? In a hotel. Oh, really? My brother works in a hotel too. He's an accountant. How does he like it? He hates it. He doesn't like the manager. That's too bad. What hotel does he work for? The Plaza. That's funny. My brother works there too. Oh, that's interesting. What does he do? Actually, he's the manager.
So Alicia is his manager's sister. His manager's sister. You know, Alicia is his manager's sister. And he's claiming because he doesn't like that man. Okay? Tradúceme todo el cristiano. Dime qué entendiste allí. A ver si que te quedó claro.
Jordana le preguntó a Alicia que dónde trabaja su hermano.
Ajá.
Alicia le responde que en el hotel. Jordana le dice, oh, ¿verdad? Mi hermano también trabaja en un hotel. Él es contador. Me dice qué es lo que le gusta, o sea, qué le
Que si
gusta
le
del
gusta, ¿qué
trabajo.
tal? ¿Cómo le va?
Ah,
¿Cómo le va en su empleo? ¿Cómo le
ella
va?
dice que es, no le gusta el gerente, que está como
No le gusta,
desanimado, no le gusta,
lo odia, lo detesta.
detesta
¿Ok?
al gerente. Y ella dice, oh, que es malo, pues, y que en cuál hotel trabaja. Ella le dice que en el Plaza, y dice, ah, qué divertido, mi hermano también trabaja allí. Dice, oh, interesante, ¿y qué trabaja? Y ella dice, bueno, actualmente es el manager, era el jefe del
Él
hermano.
es el jefe de este, el que está quejándose.
Sí,
Hasta que se descubrió que no se puede abrir la boca para estar tan grande. ¿Ok?
así es.
Que quedarse calladito. Bueno, ¿entendiste? No, te entendiste bien la cuestión. Total,
Sí.
es soltar la lengua, porque a ti lo que te hace falta es soltar la lengua en español, en inglés, no en español. En español lo suelta muy bien. Ok, let's practice this. Jordan, you are Jordan. Let's imagine that you are Jordan and I am Alicia. Okay?
Okay,
You see? Now, let's try to speak. Come on, do it.
okay. Where does your brother work?
Repeat it again. Where does your brother work?
Where
Where
does
does
your
does.
brother
Ese
work?
does, no me lo pronuncie muy fuerte. Does. Where does your brother work? In a
Where
hotel.
does where does your brother work?
In a hotel.
Oh, really? My brother works in a hotel too. He is accountant.
He's an accountant. An
He's
accountant.
an accountant.
He's an accountant. How does he like it?
He hates heat. He doesn't like the manager,
That's too bad. What hotel does he work for?
the plaza.
That's funny. My brother works there too.
Oh, that's interesting. What does he do?
Actually, he's the manager. Actually, he's the manager. You see, actually, esa es una expresión que es muy común en el americano. ¿Sabes qué significa? Sí, a ver, vamos, a ciencia cierta.
Well,
And actually,
actually es
muchos la confunden, por eso te lo estoy preguntando.
no, actually ellos lo utilizan para decir como decir real o ciertamente
O a propósito.
a propósito, ajá.
Es algo así como, depende de la frase en que tú la uses. Actually, aquí sería como, óyeme, a propósito, como para que te des
Sí,
cuenta, para que vos veáis. ¿Ya?
sí,
Miren lo que son las coincidencias, ¿no? Para que actually, algunas veces se utiliza como, la verdad es que, ¿eh? O en verdad es tal cosa, ¿no? O algo así. Actually, es en realidad, en verdad,
en verdad.
sí. Generalmente. Aquí pues lleva más el a propósito. ¿Por qué? Porque mira de lo que estamos hablando, ¿eh? ¿Eh? Una coincidencia.
Una
Depende
coincidencia.
de lo que se diga. Actually, el día se, bueno, la realidad es que trabaja como gerente del hotel. Vaya. Okay, so this is the idea. So let's continue page 51, 52. On page 52, you have the grammar focus. What is the grammar focus about? It's about places and the uses of WH question, where, and the use of what, and the use of how. Observe that you have different words according to the situation. If you are asking for a place, you say where. If you are asking about an occupation, you say what. What do you do? What does he do? What does she do? Or what do they do? Okay. If you're asking about the opinion, your opinion about something, how do you like it? It's your opinion. Okay. You say how do
No,
you like it?
déjeme
How
anotar
does
eso.
he like it? Huh?
Nena, ya, déjeme anotarlo aquí.
How do they like it? How
Me movieron
implica
aquí
una opinión, un criterio, un cómo se ejecutan las cosas, cómo se las lleva, cómo les va. Hay un criterio de opinión. Okay, so there is a criteria, there is an opinion on how. So observe the answer and observe the question, okay? So they are all related to places lugares, okay? In a hospital, in a hotel, in an office. The question is where? Where? The question is about what activity, about the occupation. You say what? What do you do? What does he do? What do they do? Accountants, manager, and doctors. And if the criteria or the opinion is about how do they like it? If it is okay or not, if it is good or bad, huh? If the occupation is not so good, you say, how do you like it? How does he like it? How do they like it? Okay, you have to ask about the people's opinion. Okay, now let's listen and practice. Listen and pay attention to this. Okay.
Page 52. Exercise 4. Grammar focus. Simple present WH questions.
WH.
Where do you work?
In a hospital.
What do you do?
I'm a doctor.
How do you like it?
I really like it.
Where does he work?
In a hotel.
What does he do?
He's a manager.
How does he like it?
It's okay.
It's okay.
Where do they work?
In an office.
What do they do?
They're accountants.
How do they like it?
They hate it.
They hate it means they don't like it. Absolutely. They don't like it. You understand?
Yeah.
It's the
Yes.
opposite of like. They hate it. Oh, okay. Any questions about this? Do you have any
Sí.
questions about? Uh-huh.
Sí.
Dime, tiene que preguntar. What is your question?
Estoy escribiendo aquí cuando utilizo do y cuando utilizo does.
Okay, you use do for I, you, we, or they. Okay, let me check it out. Let me check it out. Okay, you check it out like this. You use do whenever you have this. Okay, pay attention. Observe this. Let me check it. Let me check it. Oh, God. I don't know if I'm gonna do it okay because it's not good. Not good. Okay. Now, who is used either for I or we. Let's see. Let me check it. It's a little bit difficult for me to use this. You use do for a question. Whenever you have I or you have you as the subject, you, or whenever you have we or they, okay? You can use we or they, okay? If you have I, you, we, or they, you have to use do, okay? For questions, and it happens the same. It happens the same. This is for questions. What is a question? Okay. Do you? Remember, if you ask do you, your answer is yes or no. But if you ask a WH question, the answer is not gonna be yes or no. So where do you work? What do you do? You use WH like this, right? And then you have to use, in this case, we, or you can use, instead of we, you can use they. I, you, he, she. Okay, observe this. What about, how about if you're using, let me check it. I don't know if I'm gonna do it, but let me try. This here. How difficult it is to use this. This is why I prefer the board. I prefer to be using the board instead of this because it is really difficult for me to use this. But you have to use do for I, do for you, huh? Do for we, or do for they. Okay, that's the problem here. Let me take it. Do you, we, or they? We or they. Difficulty. Okay, this is used WH or do. What about if the question is not with I, you, he, I, you, we, or they? How about if the WH question is by using another subject, which is not I, you, we, or they? Imagine that the question is about he, she, or it. He, we are talking about he, or she, or it. You see? Where does it? Okay? If that's a question, if you're using one of these questions, you do not use do. What do you use instead? What do you use instead? You have to use does. Okay? Does for he, does for she. Let me check it. Oh, difficult. Does for he, does for she, or does for it. And after that, you have to use the verb. Okay? The verb could be like, the verb could be live, the verb could be work. Okay? Where do you work? What does he do? In this case, if you're using what, the general verb is do. You have to use do. What does he do? If the question is with what, okay? If the question is with where, you say, where do you live? Where do you work? Okay? In this case, you're talking about another situation, but for the last one, you have to use do, okay? Not,
Okay.
you understand the difference?
Yes.
Does or do according to the subject. According to the subject. Let me check it out. If I can find it out, where do I place it here? Okay, does for he, she, or for it. Do for I, you, we, or they. So you have to check it out, okay? So there is another practice here so that you can get the grammar focus or the grammar plus, which is on page 139. So let's go to page 139. I made a mistake again. Let me open this, close this, and let's go back. Let's go back again to page 100. What page is it? 139. Here you are. 139. You have a question with what, with where, with how. Remember, what, when you're asking for the occupation, where, for places, and how, for opinions about the job. You see? Use what to ask about things. What do you do? Use where to ask about places. Where do you work? Use how does or how do or how does, depending on the subject. Like, how with like, you have to use to ask for information and information of opinion. Opinion. How does he like it? How does he like his job? Okay, so observe, look at the answer, and you're going to ask a question in a reverse order. In a reverse order. You're going to complete the conversations. What does your husband do? My husband? Oh, he is a nurse. Okay. Now, what is the question in this case you have here? If the answer is he works at an emergency room, he works at Mercy Hospital. Okay, he works at Mercy Hospital. What is the question here? Ask me the question. What is it?
Where those he do?
Where does he do? No, you have to use the verb work because the verb here is work. You see?
Uh-huh.
Repeat the question, please. Repeat the question.
Where does he do?
No, it's not do. The verb is work. Because the
Work.
verb
Okay,
is
cierto,
work.
cierto.
Okay.
Cierto.
Can you repeat it again, please?
He does, perdón, where does he work?
That's correct. That's all right. It's okay. Where does he work? You see, where does he work? It's correct. What do you say for the next one? What do you say for the next one?
He works at Mercy Hospital.
Okay, where does he work? He works at the Mercy Hospital. Now, number two, what do you say? If observe that the answer is I work in a restaurant. What is the question if the answer is I work in a restaurant?
What do you work?
No, it's not what. It's
Where do you work?
okay, it's do you, because the answer is I work. Where do you work? Very good. Where do you work? And the answer is I work in a restaurant. You see it here? Where do you work? I work in a restaurant. What is the other question so that you answer? He work, sorry, nice. What? If the answer is I'm a chef. After the question is incomplete. Complete the question so that the question, the answer for the question is I'm a chef. What is the question?
What do you do?
That's okay, very good. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? I'm a chef, okay? Where do you work? I work in a restaurant, okay? Observe, when you ask for a place, you say where you work. When you ask for an occupation, you say, what do you do? Okay? Now, tell me about the other one, number three. Can you read it? Observe what is the answer. Observe what the answer is. My job, I don't really like it very much. The question is,
How do you like do
how do you like
work?
your job? Your job. Observe that the answer is my job. So
Okay.
as the answer is my job, you have to ask, how do you like your job? Okay, how do you like your job? You see, how do you like your job? And what is the other question in this case? What is the other question? How do you like your job? That's too bad. You say, I don't really like it very much. That's too bad. What is the other question if the answer is, I'm a cashier. I work with clothing store. I work at the clothing store. What do you say?
What do you work?
What do you do? Observe that you are asking for an occupation. What do
Okay.
you do? What do you do? That is the question. What do you do? So the answer is, or the question is, what do you do? Okay, you see, it's here. What do you do? What do you do? Okay, now continue with the next one. I'm a cashier. I work in a clothing store. Is here. You see, what do
Okay.
you do? What do you do? I'm a cashier. I work in a clothing store. Okay, now Observe the last question. The last two questions. Observe the answers. My brother is a doctor and my sister is a lawyer. What is the question about my brother and my sister? My brother and my sister. So the answer, the question is, what is the question?
How do you like?
Observe that it is not how.
No, es
This
abajo,
one.
teacher. No,
It's this
abajo.
one. What about this
No.
one?
No, esa es la. Ah, ok, no, sí, cierto,
It's
cierto.
number 4.
This is what do what do you do? No, what do they do?
What do they do? You can omit my brother and my sister, but as the question is about your brother and your sister, you have to say, what do your brother and your sister do? What do? Because it's your brother and your sister is plural. You see?
You no se puede decir what do they do?
That's correct. What do they do? What do they do? You can say, what do they do? Or what do your brother and your sister do? You see? What do your brother and your sister do? El problema es que tú es primera vez que tú manifiestas acerca de un hermano y una hermana. Entonces tú no puedes hacer la pregunta con they porque ¿qué hacen ellos? Mi hermano y mi hermana. ¿Sobreentendido? No. ¿Qué hacen tu
Claro.
hermano y tu hermana? What do your brother and your sister do? The answer is, my brother is a doctor and my sister is a lawyer. Mi hermano es un doctor y mi hermana es una abogado. ¿Ok? Profesional del derecho, aunque anden al revés. Tú no eres abogado, sí.
No, yo soy licenciado en administración.
Administración, ¿ya? Muy bien. Entonces, aquí en este caso, what do they do? Está bien hecha la pregunta. Tú puedes preguntar, what do they do? Pero como es primera vez que lo menciona, tiene que decir, what do your
Por lo
brother...
menos si ella, por lo menos están hablando dos personas y dicen, es que mis hermanos están trabajando.
Ah, sí, ya están hablando antes.
Allí sí le puedes decir what
Do they do? What do they do? Sí, porque ya está sobreentendido mi hermano y mi hermana, mis hermanos.
Okay.
Sí. Entonces esa es la razón. What do your brother and your sister do? What do they do? Tú puedes quitar your brother and your sister y poner they, no hay problema. Okay, the answer. What is the answer?
My brother is a doctor. How those like?
Observe. Is it singular or plural? Singular or plural?
Singular. Yes, do.
It's plural because it's your brother and your sister. Your brother and your sister. So how, observe that the answer is here. They.
Hey.
So what is the auxiliary verb here?
How do they like?
How do they like it? Okay, cuando veas how, entonces tú metes el like. How do they like it? How do they like their jobs? How do they like their jobs? Okay, porque their jobs está incluido aquí. How do they like their jobs? Well, they work hard. They work very hard, but they love their jobs. But they love their jobs. Okay, trabajan muy duro, pero sí les gusta, les encanta, les fascina el trabajo duro. Okay, so how do they like it? How do they like their jobs? Okay, so we have already answered all of these. Check it out that for questions about the place, you have to use where. For questions about the occupation, you have to use what. And for questions about opinion, you have to use how. Remember, what do you do? What do they do? What does he do? Remember, where do you work? Where do they work? Where does he work? Where does she work? In this case, singular. How does he like it? How does she like it? How do they like it? If it is plural, you say, do they like it? How do they like their job? Okay. Now, this is something you're going to learn little by little. Let's go back to page 52. Let's go back to page 52 again. On page 52, you have again this. Remember what I told you about the use of what, where, and let me check it out. Let me close this. Okay, now observe what you have here. You have to complete the conversations and then you practice with a partner. You see, we have 5 minutes left. 5 minutes left.
Okay.
What do you say about the first one? What are the words that are missing here? Missing here. You see, what did your sister do? My sister's a teacher. What is the question here? Observe that the answer is, it's difficult, but she loves it. So what is the question here? What, where, or how? What, where, or how? What do you say?
How?
How? Because you're talking about opinion. Opinion, you see that it is included here. It is included here. This is a difficult, but she loves it. Okay, so it's how. What about the other? What is the verb here? How does she
Like.
like? So you say, how does she like it? How does she like it? How does she like it? It's difficult, but she loves it. Okay. What do you say about the next one? What do you say about number 2? What is the question? What, where, or how? Observe that the answer is in an office. He's an accountant. Okay, what do you say here?
Where?
Where? Okay, where does your brother, what is the verb?
Work.
Where does your brother
Work.
work? It's correct. Where does your brother work? You see, where does your brother work? And what is the answer? Oh, he's an accountant. He works in an office, he's an accountant. But what is the next question if the answer is with like?
Who?
Who? No, it's not who, it's how. How?
How?
H-O-W. How? What else? How does he
Likes.
like it? How does he like it? You see, how does he like it? He doesn't really like it. He doesn't really like it. Okay. Now,
Okay.
what do you complete in here? What, where, or how? Observe. I guess they like them. This is an opinion. What do you use here?
How?
What, where, or how?
How?
How. And what is the verb here?
Like.
Like. So the question is, how do they like it? How do your parents like their jobs? How do your parents like their jobs? Oh, I guess they like them. I don't remember. What do you say here? If the answer is in a hospital, they are doctors. The answer is in a hospital. What is the question?
Where?
What,
Where?
where, or how?
Where?
Where. So the question here is where. And what is the verb? The verb, the action. Is
Work.
What is it?
Work. A
Work.
job.
So it's about a job, you have to use work. Okay. Where do they work? So the answer is, the question is, where do they work? Okay. Where do they work? Where is it? Where do they work? The answer is in a big hospital. In a big hospital. They're doctors. Okay. They're doctors. What do you say about the next one? What do you say about the next one? My connection is unstable. But number 4, what do you say?
What do you do?
What do you do? That's okay. And what is the answer? I'm a student. And what is the other question here?
I see.
Observe the answer. The answer is great. Fantastic. I like them a lot.
How?
How?
Do you?
Okay, so here is how. And what is the answer? What is the verb? The verb.
Like.
Like. That's correct. The verb is like, and the question is how. And the first one was what? Huh? What do you do? What do you do? I'm a student. I see. How do you like your classes? They are great. I like them a lot. I like them a lot. Okay, you understand this? Is it
Yeah.
clear? Remember the use of where when you ask about place. Remember the use of what when you ask about occupation, jobs. And remember how when you are talking about opinions. And remember, you use like when you talk about opinions. Like, I like it. I like it, or they like it. You say, they mention a place, for example, a hospital, you say where, or an office, you say where, or a school, when you say where. But when you talk about an occupation, you say what? What do you do? What do they do? Okay, remember this. Well, their time is up because it's 3 o'clock right now. So we are going to continue this from tomorrow on. Okay, we are on page 52. We are on page 52. We have covered pages 50, 51, and 52, almost 52. So we are going to finish this right now. So let me stop sharing and let me stop recording, which is in progress. Let's stop